It's me. And this is Larimore, and it's kind of my most favorite time of the year. As you can see, I've got some of my spooky things out over here. I wanted to read a book with you today. Well, part of a book anyway. This is from the book called They Lost Their Heads. It's by Carolyn Betcha. And I actually have to reorder this book. I had to go to the Fulton Library and check this out, but I just reordered it, so hopefully it'll be here soon. But this just has a lot of different true stories in it, and it's really kind of gross and interesting and creepy. So I wanted to share one of the more interesting stories. So I'm sure several of you have seen The Greatest Showman before, and as you may recall, there are two brothers who are Siamese twins in the movie. It is Chang and Ing Bunker, and they are Siamese twins. So I'm going to share with you the story of the two brothers from The Greatest Showman. Okay, this is the story of two brothers who did everything together. They slept together, ate together, played together, and even went to the bathroom together. Chang and Ing Bunker had the kind of brotherly bond that could never be severed, literally. I mean, seriously, no one could break them apart. Chang and Ing were stuck together. They were born in 1811 on a bamboo mat in a thatch roof house floating on a river near Bangkok, Siam, now modern-day Thailand. A 2-inch thick band of flesh connected the brothers at their abdomens, forcing them to coordinate their 4 legs and 4 arms like two dancers caught in a never-ending waltz. They could run together, they could swim together, and even row a boat in unison. When they were kids, doctors gave their mother some interesting suggestions on how they could be separated. One said to use a red-hot wire, while another suggested using termites to eat away at the connecting flesh. No thanks. Another doctor suggested hanging the boys from their connected skin across a catgut cord, like laundry airing out to dry. Supposedly, this would stretch and sever the bond. Luckily, Chang and Ing's mom had the good sense not to listen to the boys' doctor. When Chang and Ing were 13 years old, they met American trader Abel Coffin. Coffin immediately saw that a fortune could be made off Chang and Ing. Before YouTube videos and reality TV, America was hungry for freak shows. Dwarfs, giants, bearded ladies, and any other persons whose deformity made them different were put on public display and could be viewed for a price. Conjoined twins were extremely rare. Even today, only 1 in about 50,000 births are conjoined, and the survival rate is only up to 25%. Coffin knew Chang and Ing would attract crowds, so he purchased the boys from their mother for $3,000, enough to support her for her life. Then they boarded a ship to Boston to start a whirlwind tour in America. They are known today as conjoined twins, but the show posters called them the Siamese Double Boys after their birthplace of Siam. Medical professionals were amazed by the twins, and they performed all sorts of scientific experiments to see how their bodies worked. In one of these tests, a doctor fed Chang asparagus but did not give any to Ing. 4 hours later, he took a good whiff of both twins' urine, and Chang's urine had the very pungent curl your nose hair smell, but Ing's urine did not. This experiment told the doctors that they did not share a urinary tract. Naturally, many medical professionals wondered if they could separate the twins, but most thought it was far too dangerous. Most likely, Chang and Ing would not have survived such a surgery. Before the discovery of antibiotics, you could get a small cut and die if it became infected. When Chang and Ing reached their majority at the age of 21, they were sick of being gawked at and wanted to lead a normal life. They quit touring and took the name of Bunker. With enough savings from their show, they built a wooden house in Mount Airy, North Carolina, high on a sloping hill with oversized windows to let in the light. They even found true love when they met 2 sisters, Sarah Ann and Adelaide Yates. Chang and Ing both fell for Adelaide, but it was Chang who won her heart and asked her to marry him. Her sister Sarah Ann later agreed to marry Ing. It may seem strange to choose one twin over the other, but the brothers had 2 completely different personalities. Ing was the nice guy. He was easygoing and intellectual. Chang was the bad boy. He was witty, but also angered easily and was a bit of a drunk. Despite their differences, the twins got along enough to have 21 children with their 2 wives. That's right, 21. That's a lot of babies. Some reports state that they had 22 children, but one starts to lose count after 21. They lived in 2 houses where they would spend 3 days in one house and 3 days in the other. What'd they do the other day? They also became successful businessmen selling tobacco and farming the land. Despite having to share a body, the twins had pretty normal lives. Then the Civil War broke out, and like most people in the South, they were financially ruined. Without means to support their families, Chang and Eng were forced to go back to the touring as curiosities. They teamed up with P.T. Barnum, one of the greatest showmen of his day. But Chang's drinking started to take its toll, and on one return trip home, he had a stroke. From then on, Eng was forced to use a leather strap to hold Chang up like a floppy puppet. That's literally what it says, like a floppy puppet. Chang's health deteriorated until one day he got bronchitis. The next morning, Eng awoke to find his brother's skin cold to the touch. Chang had died in his sleep. Eng immediately knew his life was in danger and sent for the doctor. But this was the days of horse and buggy, and there was not an ambulance in sight. By the time the doctor got to the house, Eng was dead too. The twins were 62 years old. If Chang and Eng were worth something alive, they sure as heck were worth something dead. Immediately, offers started to come in to purchase the bodies. One was as high as $10,000, which was a small fortune back then. Sarah Ann and Adelaide refused, but became worried that body snatchers would steal the bodies, so they buried the twins in the floor of their basement so no one could get at them. Okay. After the twins' death, a Philadelphia doctor named Dr. William Pancoast convinced the sisters to allow an autopsy. The autopsy revealed something very interesting about their liver. It was also conjoined. You don't find a conjoined liver every day, so of course, Dr. Pancoast was not about to give it back. He stole their liver, along with some token intestines. He then sewed the twins back up, took a really creepy plaster cast of their bodies, and sent the corpses home to their widows. The sisters never noticed the missing bits and reburied the twins in their basement. Today, the Bunkers have more than 1,500 descendants. Every year, about 200 of them get together for one raucous family reunion where they wear t-shirts that read, "Our family sticks together." Chang and Eng certainly did stick together. Keep that in mind the next time you want to pummel your brother or sister. The twins were later reburied in the cemetery of White Plains Baptist Church in North Carolina. Chang and Eng's liver, along with their plaster cast, can be viewed at the Mutter Museum in Philadelphia. Okay, well, that's all I have for this interesting read. I told you it was going to be special, so I hope you liked it, and come back and check and see what else I got in store for you soon. Bye.